Before you pack your bags and hit the road, drivers recommend taking your vehicle into the shop for a tune-up. Seeing the keys in the ignition and the doors unlocked, Keith and Sabrina hopped in the vehicle. That's when the 9-year-old girl in the backseat was startled, screamed, and then jumped out to save her own life. Yeah, Jesse, and hopefully the weather will cooperate this weekend if you're trying to fly a rocket. The Armstrong Air and Space Museum is calling all families and rocket fans to come on out. And we will have more about Auglaize County at 6 o'clock tonight when Jeff, Jason, Jesse, and I bring you our county live from right here in downtown Wapakoneta. And during the show, we will have an announcement about some special people that will be at the Armstrong Museum this summer. Factories and industries do sit close by here, so there are a lot of semis in this area. But take a look behind me. 2 clearly marked no large truck signs. And take a walk with me now. Just a few feet away from them is this sign, a third one.
And Jess, we're not talking about just one facility, but 2, correct?
That's right, Randy. Detectives are telling me today that over the past few months, Aldana Hall has stolen the identity of and purchased thousands of dollars worth of stuff from 2 different victims at 2 different nursing homes.
She was using her residents' information to order things online and create credit cards and just basically use her identity without the residents' approval or knowledge.
Detective Bickle says they were tipped off by a family member of the victim. What really makes this story interesting, detectives say Hall moved on to a new victim at a new nursing home just a month later.
We were actually investigating the Rathbone, and then I was actually looking for Miss Hall and was notified that her car was broken down at Solebron, and they observed actually the victim of Rathbone's checkbook laying in the front seat.
That launched the second investigation, this one at Solebron.
Ms. Hall is accused of creating checks and trying to cash them and put them into her own account.
Detectives say there could be more victims they are unaware of. They tell me although these are not violent crimes, they're not victimless either.
There's thousands of dollars in checks. Some of them may not be at these facilities their entire lives. They may be there for rehab or something like that, and they have to get out and maybe get apartments and get cars and, start their lives again, and it ruins their credit.
I tried to reach out to Solebron and Rathbone for comment and haven't been able to make contact yet. Now, Hall will be back in court next month. A few of her charges include forgery, burglary, attempted fraud, and identity deception. Brandon, between the zoo, the museum, Bosse Center, Ford Center, we all know there's fun things to do around town. But as of this morning, you can now, whether for transportation or purely recreation, you can hop on a bike, enjoy that scenery while zipping around town. And let me show you, it really is as easy as swipe and go. Right here behind me, just hours ago, is where a man died and where 3 firefighters were injured. Now I'm told that this is now being investigated as a homicide arson. Law enforcement agencies fight criminals every day. Having man's best friend at your side
We've become very good friends in the past couple weeks.
Can save lives and bring down the bad guys.
Gives you another tool to help get illegal narcotics off the streets, apprehend criminals that we otherwise may not be able to catch.
First exercise was a car stop with a drug search that followed. What we're trying to do is condition the dogs to the exact same things they'll be doing on the street.
Now this part of training is called evidence search. I'm getting my DNA all over this credit card and this gun. Now I'm going to toss them into this long grass and we're going to see if Aries can find them.
Suspect search was to get the dogs accustomed to barking when they find somebody that they can't actually get to, like behind a door.
Practicing for the real deal. Aries also jumps fences, climbs ladders, and tunnels through tight spaces. He will be officially in the line of action with the Henderson County Sheriff's Office in the next few weeks. We are now in day 13 of unrest in Ferguson, Missouri. But is southern West Virginia prepared if riots and chaos were to ignite here? Beckley Police Deputy Chief J.C. McPete tells us their agency is committed to having officers as diverse as the community in which they serve. McPete says in a hostile situation, they're trained to use nonviolent methods before any other force.
We all carry pepper spray or tasers. Most of the time, just the threat of that will de-escalate the situation.
Their first response is to call for backup.
If there is somebody that's threatening violence against a police officer, you see 2 police officers, they may rethink that. And luckily this city's small enough to where our backup gets here relatively fast.
To hold both citizens and law enforcement accountable, 10 officers with Beckley Police have body cameras, and all marked vehicles come equipped with video and audio recorders. Beyond accountability, he says gaining the public's trust and being involved in the community is the best way to combat violence.
I want the community safe. I want the people on the street to trust me and not to fear me. Parents, they'll point to the police and tell their kids, hey, he'll put you in jail, instead of saying he's the guy you need to run to if you need help.
A small park nestled in a quiet, quaint town. Community members say this has always been a safe place to call home.
The community is very close-knit. Everyone knows everyone. We keep an eye on everything.
Deputies say this park is where a young girl was playing when she started to walk to her house just a few blocks away. And that's when deputies say she noticed a van following her home.
The juvenile became more afraid as the van became closer. The juvenile began to run. Mother was still on the line, and then the van squealed away. Juvenile made it back home. Mother called 911.
Deputy Chandler says the girl described him as a white man with brown hair and a brown goatee in a white van.
Whenever there's children in the park, I always keep an eye out as far as through the windows or through the door, because you just never know. The park is usually full whenever school is out, and through the summer.
Extra patrols are now out in the area. Heather believes this additional measure gives an added blanket of security.
And I've noticed them patrolling every morning and every afternoon right about the time the children will be getting on or off the bus. It makes everybody feel a whole lot safer, that's for sure.
During the holiday, shoppers at retail stores statewide won't have to pay sales tax on notebooks, binders, and other school supplies priced up to $20. And it not only applies to back-to-school materials, shoes and clothing items priced up to $100 are also exempt from the sales tax. For Angel Upright, she's already planning how she'll use the money she will save this weekend.
We got to get stuff fixed for my sister. Her house, it has to get a new hot water pump and stuff in it. We got to install that. So that way, while we're saving money here, we can get more money to fix her house.
The majority of shoppers we spoke with actually did not know about the tax-free holiday coming up, but now they're already mapping out the shops they plan to hit. Having already bought clothes for the fall season, a 7th grader tells us he'll make it a point to go shopping with Mom this weekend for these items.
Pencils, markers, crayons, paper, notebooks.
So just how much can shoppers save?
They can save over 5% just on taxes alone. And then on top of our other savings we have throughout the store, it's really a big help to families.
We're doing about 100 miles an hour.
Watching from inside the Guard Extra 300L.
All right, you ready to start out and do a little aileron roll with me?
Yeah!
Yeah!
Even just from the ground is jaw-dropping and inspiring. I even got to fly the aircraft for a few seconds.
Hold it. Nice job, you're flying.
One of the goals of the Air National Guard aerobatic team is to encourage people to sign up for careers with the Reserve Military Force.
A wonderful opportunity for us to get out and introduce the Air National Guard to all the men and women that may be looking for a career field or how to get their college paid for.
A lot of training is involved to be able to pilot this amazing aircraft. Here's how you do it.
I would recommend that they join the Air Guard. Then they meet the people that they're going to be working with and display interest in flying. And after that, they can get their college paid for. And then once you're done with college, you can apply for a pilot training slot.